Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? It is Monday. Yay! Okay, I know I might be the only one, but that's okay, because by the time the show is over, everybody's going to be pumped. That's okay. You know, Mondays to me are the opposite of negative, because some people get up in the morning like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, I got to start a whole week. You know what? That's good. First of all, let's just get this out the way. You woke up. If you're watching me right now, if you're hearing me right now, if you're moving your hands right now, if you're smiling right now, if you're seeing me right now, that is an awesome Monday. So if you can't find anything else to say, well, I don't know about Monday, those are the things that you should say every day. And I was telling people last week, I was talking to a friend last week, and she's like, every day I wake up, Barbara, and I just don't know what to do. And I'm kind of in and out of my head. And so I said, okay, well, what's going on? What's really going on? Yeah, I always dig deep. That's me. And maybe the coach in me. And she's like, I don't know. She said, I just wake up like blah. And I hate that expression. Blah. How do you feel? Explain to me blah. That's what I want to know. And she's like, I just feel blah. I'm like, okay, I'll roll with this for a minute. And then I just told her, I said, this person, she has a wonderful job. She has 2 wonderful children. They're about to go to college. A gorgeous husband. Sometimes I know, things behind closed doors, you never know what's going on. But I told her, I said, whatever it is, first of all, talk it out. Understand that you're awesome and amazing. I always tell everybody that. And then get rid of the blah. You have to do affirmations. And then I got to my coach a little bit more. But then I just told her, I was just looking at the fact that how many other people are feeling that way every day, not just a Monday. And then I just told myself, I said, I really need to pump it more and just let people know that, because there's days, I'm not saying I'm always, yay every day. But I always remember and understand what my purpose is and what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to motivate, and I'm trying to get other people to see how wonderful they are. You always know I like to let people get their visibility. I like them to shine as the diamond effect. I like them to shine in the world. And I said, now, if I'm not pushing it and doing myself, then others are not going to be able to follow through. I got to lead by example. And I always remind myself of that every single day when I wake up, even though if sometimes I feel, I'll use her term, blah. So with that, let me go into, I always try to give some positive, like a little thing before we start, bringing on the king and queen today. We got a wonderful king coming on, as we know, Marty, Master Happiness. He's coming on first. And then I am, just honored to have a wonderful, wonderful, amazing queen. I call ladies queens. Allyson Roberts. She is going to come on and is going to just blow up this stage. I know she just, first we had a Friday, and then I was like, and I was like, please come Monday. So I don't want to miss you. So I'm glad that with her busy schedule, she was able to come today. So let me give you this real quick. Then I'm going to move out the way for Marty and Master Happiness, because he's going to now, like after you hear him, okay, there's more pumped up for Monday, okay? All relationships have ups and downs. Know when to hold on and when to let go. A good relationship can have a positive impact on your life, and a stressful relationship can become so straining that it affects your health. Okay, we don't want that. It is a fine line between knowing when to hold them and when to let go or walk away. That sounds like a song from Kenny Rogers. Okay. Every relationship has ups and downs. When there are no more downs for both of you, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself and let go. Nothing's wrong with letting go. Love them from afar. Pray for them from afar. But if they cause you stress and anguish and everything else, that's not a healthy relationship. That can be a true act of self-love for yourself and the other person. Because, some people are like, well, that's selfish. You're just going to move and walk away. No, it's not. It's making sure that we don't become worse in a relationship. It's best to just, okay, I love you. I bless you from afar. And then let them go. And then, that helps you and it helps them if it's not working out. Okay? Love yourself for yourself and other person. Today, remember, you cannot give love to someone else until you first love yourself. Until you first love yourself. And I always tell people you have to. You got to love yourself. How are you going to love others and you hate yourself? Doesn't make any sense, does it? No kind of sense at all. And if it does make sense, call me up, messenger me, text me on the phone, and we'll talk. Okay? But with that, we're going to start the show. Here we go.
Good morning, good morning, good Monday morning. I hope all of you heard those magical words that Barbara just shared with us. I mean, Barbara, thank you so much. That was motivational. I almost want to cancel my regular show and just build upon what you just said. Okay, it is Monday morning. Get excited, drink up that coffee, that tea, whatever you need to get going, because today starts your new ride, this new week. Forget about what happened in the past. Let's start over again. Let's start having fun. All right, my name is Marty Jalove. I'm from masterhappiness.com, and I want to help you just find that happiness, find your inner bacon, find that thing that makes you want to wake up in the morning, dance and sing and just shout to the world that you are happy, you are joyful. All right, that's what I want to do. Now, my show here is called You're Selling Too Hard. Now, it's not just about teaching salespeople. It's about making you a smarter consumer. It's about making people who do offer products, helping them become more honest and fulfilled with what they do. All right. And if you say, well, I don't really sell anything. No, you're wrong. You're lying to yourself. We are always selling something all the time. Okay. Whether you are pitching a product or a service, whether you are just deciding, should I wear a black shirt today or a Hawaiian shirt? Should I smile to a stranger and anticipate something in return? No matter what it is, we are communicating with other people. We are selling an idea, a thought, a dream. We are always selling. And my friends, if you are not having fun, you're selling too hard. That's what this whole show is about. And I am so happy that you are here. And I am so elated with that immediate, that beginning, that introduction Barbara gave. All right. Those of you who don't know Barbara, those of you who aren't blessed with knowing Barbara, miss out on something. This woman gives 100%, 100%. If there was a number that I could say she gives more than that, I would tell you, but she gives 100%. I come here Monday morning and I get pumped up. I drink about a pot of coffee before this starts. All right. And I'm trying to give it all. But then I listen to Barbara and I go, wow, she sets that bar so high. She gives me something to work for. 100%, 100. That's what Barbara gives all the time. All right. So I want you guys to use Barbara as a goal, as she's the top of the mountain there. And what we're doing throughout life is we're climbing that mountain. We're getting closer and closer and closer. But what we need is that peak, that pinnacle, that paramount up there for us to work towards. All right. And I want you to shoot for 100%. All right. That's what this today's show is about, how we're going to communicate back and forth, how we can take what we have inside of us and share it with other people and hopefully give it that 100%. All right. So again, my name is Marty Jalove with Master Happiness, and let's just dive right into this. So I found it interesting that 100 is represented by the letter C in the Roman numerals. So the letter C. And they had to choose certain things because they used to chisel in stone and everything was straight lines, so they couldn't do any curves. So a C was just a couple of angles. Okay. But C meant 100. And so over time, we have seen the letter C represent 100. Now, as I talk to my kids and I ask them questions about when they see the letter C, what does it mean to them? And it's very confusing. Over time, the letter C kind of changes and the meaning kind of changes over time. But the more it seems to change, the more it means the same thing. And let me kind of explain that. And that is this. There's a couple of notifications, like you see the term CC. Okay, and you see the term C note. All right, now I asked my youngest daughter, what is a C note? And she said, that's a musical note. It's the lowest note out of the 8 different notes. And I said, that's interesting. You're absolutely right. That is the C note. Okay, but those of us who are a little bit older, okay, know of a C note was a slang term for $100 bill. All right, because again, the C stood for 100. All right, those of us that look at the letters CC, you ask some people, what does CC stand for? Some people might say it's Canadian Club Whiskey. Some people might say it's the Country Club. All right. There's a lot of different, but most of us will also remember that it's when you're sending an email to somebody and there's an extra line that says CC and there's another line underneath there that says BCC. Okay. So we know that the CC is we're sending a copy to somebody else. That we're saying the email is to this person. We're communicating with that person, but we're saying we're also going to let this other person know about our communication. All right. This is not directly to them. We're just filling them in on it. And then the BCC is we're going to send it to somebody else, but not everyone knows that we're sending it to them. All right. So I asked them, what does the CC stand for? I asked my kids this, and they stopped and they said, well, that's because you're going to send a copy to somebody. And they thought about it and they were like, does it mean a copycat or something like that? And I was like, that's interesting. You came up with a CC, but it goes back much further than that. The CC actually stands for carbon copy. All right. Now, some of you out there, yes, you're going to go, yes, I knew it was carbon copy. But I was talking with my wife about this, about how amazing technology has changed. Technology is just incredible. When it first started and like I said, the written word, you go back to Roman time, like I said, they're using a chisel into stone. All right. And they only had these angles. So if they needed to CC someone, can you imagine the amount of work that they would have to do? They'd be like, I chiseled this in the wall or on this tablet, and now you want me to make another copy for someone else? Okay. How astronomical it is, how difficult that would have been. So later on, when they created the printing press, and they said, look, we can create this and make this printing press, and we can make multiple copies. All right. And what happened was they had to create this big block, and someone sat there and putting in, and they set little pieces of type in there. All right. In order. And that thus the term a typesetter. All right. And they set this up and they made multiple copies. But at office or at home, you couldn't do that. You couldn't have a massive printing press. So they created the typewriter. And the typewriter, what they did was you could sit there and type a letter. Now, for those of you who use autocorrect and we text and we go back and we say, I'm going to change that word, I'm going to change that. It's so easy. And sometimes we say, oh, it's so cumbersome. Okay. Back then, you had one shot at it. You're typing that whole thing. If you made a mistake, oh my gosh, the best you could hope for was the little whiteout or something where you'd have to cover up that mistake and retype over it. If you typed a whole paragraph in the wrong position, you'd have to pull that paper out, throw it away, and start all over again. So giving a copy to someone didn't exist. I couldn't go to a copy machine. I had to put a piece of carbon paper between two sheets, create an original, and then that other copy went to someone else. So I know I'm taking a trip down the past here and energizing us, and those of us who are a little bit older who kind of remember that. Now, not me. I'm not that old. I'm only like 30, and just life has been tough on me. That's why I look a little bit older. But anyway, I want you to think about that. Is those carbon copies were the way that led us to the future. That right now, with the press of a button, we can do that. But the reality stays the same. The copying each other. All right, sending a copy, sending a message to you, sending a message to that person, going around, that remains the same. Okay, and so no matter what the technology brings to us, it's going to remain the same. Okay, if I'm relating a story to you and then I come over and I tell someone else, hey, I want to talk to you about the show I was just on, this is what I did, I'm kind of carbon copying to him as well. So it's all about communication. I want you to think about, no matter what it's done in the past, the intent has always been the same. And we are going to just update the way we do this. And breaking down the way we do this is kind of really simple. First off, I always have to bring this up: need, desire, and solution. And that is, this is our intent. This is what we need to convey. Our customer has a need. We want to make sure we can create a desire, and we have a solution. Once we do that, now it's a matter of how do we communicate? How do we communicate back and forth? All right. And this is going to be 5 C's. I knew you probably were wondering where am I going with the C's, but I want you to remember these 5 C's. This is the way, these are the 5 C's of communication. The things I want you to really think about whenever you are communicating. And what I mean by whenever you're communicating is very, very simple. Whether you are selling a product, think of these 5 C's. Whether you are just talking to someone in general and you have an idea that you just want to convey, think of these 5 C's. Whether you are looking for a promotion in work, think of these 5 C's. If you are giving a speech on a stage, think of these 5 C's. Whenever you are just talking in general, when I'm doing this show here, I have to think of these 5 C's. All right. So I want you to concentrate on these, and I want you to write these down. And at the end, I'm going to give you a form that you can download so you'll know these. So let's get into it. It's clarity. In other words, be clear with your message. Connection. Make a connection between me and you. Find some commonality here so that you are interested in what I have to say. Credibility. All right. So if connection is you're interested in what I have to say, credibility means you trust what I have to say. Okay. That it seems like the things I'm saying make sense, and it's something that you want to hear and you believe in. Confidence. In other words, I show that I believe in what I'm saying. All right. And finally, the close, where I wrap up everything I've talked about, and I give you a call to action, a reason to do something, that you take that message and you are able to move forward with it. So these 5 things, this is a nice order, but it's not the only order you have to go in. I've seen people where they deliver all confidence first, and then they work their way through this. And sometimes throughout your message, throughout your presentation, you're going to jump back and forth. But it's important to cover all 5 of these. So let's get into them one at a time. Clarity is the first one. This is all about being clear with your message. Oh my God, I've seen so many salespeople. They hem and they haw and they talk about all kinds of things, and they don't come right out and tell the customer what the solution is. All right. Or they don't find the connection with the problem. And I see this, and it's a great flaw, because at the end they go, I lost at sale. And I was like, you never even tried making a sale. All right. So it's very important that you're extremely clear with your message. So my message here today is all about trying to help you narrow down everything, the how in how you're speaking, the how to these 5 C's. That's all I want you to get today, is these 5 C's. So you normally start out with a problem, because I'm sharing a problem with you, saying something that this problem exists, and you're going to go, yes, I agree, that problem exists. And once I start thinking about the problem in general, I'm going to say in my mind, I want to solve that problem. Okay, that's what you want. You want to talk to the person about a problem, so that that person is going to say, yes, that there's a problem that causes me sadness, fear, some kind of anxiety, maybe it angers me. Okay, and immediately when I start feeling that, because we're talking about the problem, I want to solve that problem. All right, then you introduce a solution. Your product, your idea, your dream, your thoughts are the solution to that problem. You introduce that next. All right. Remember, if you introduce the solution, say, hey, I've got this great idea, that's okay. But if they don't understand the problem it's going to solve, there's no reason, they're not listening wholeheartedly to your solution. And after the clarity, after the problem and solution, you just want to show some action. These are the steps you need to take in order to act upon this solution. All right. It's fairly simple. Just that. And I want you to think about that a little bit more as we go into the next one. Connection. Again, I have to make a connection with you somehow, so that you start to believe in what I am saying. All right. You start to say, yes, me too. That's what we want them to do. You want them to, your customer to look at you as you're talking, go, yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, that has happened to me. All right. And yes, I can relate to what you're saying. That's what you want your audience to talk about, whether I'm talking to my wife, whether I'm talking to my children, whether I'm talking to a client, no matter what, I want them to say, yeah, I identify with what you're saying. So the way we do this is through communication, and communication is a broad term. I'm talking about asking the right questions so I can hear from the person. I want to listen to what they have to say. I want to really, really listen, not go, okay, that's a great answer. Here's my next question. That's a great answer. Here's my next question. No, listen to what they say and write this down and understand, because sometimes my solution does not fit that customer. And we're going to learn that during communication here. And if my solution does not fit you, then we just say, thank you very much. I don't think I can help you with your needs. Let me help you find someone else. You got to be brave enough to do that. All right. After communication is vulnerability. I want to show them some of my vulnerability. I want to expand upon those problems we talked about and say that I've experienced those problems. I understand that. Show that. Don't be afraid of sharing some information about yourself, so that that person says, wow, I'm in a comfortable room. He's sharing with me, or she is sharing with me, so I feel more comfortable sharing with them. That's what you want to do. That's how you make a connection. Okay. It's not all about, tell me all about yourself and I'm going to sit back and listen and analyze you, because no one wants to really be judged. So be vulnerable, share something about yourself. Lastly is emotion. Show it with emotion. All right. Be happy, be angry. When you're talking about vulnerability and you're talking about something that makes you angry, you can't go, yeah, and so that really made me angry. Okay. No, you've got to show it that really made me angry. Angry. I'm upset. Show it with some emotion, real emotion. All right. So what you want to do is you want to communicate with them. You want to show some vulnerability and sincere vulnerability and show that emotion. After connection is credibility. Now, after you connect with the person, you're kind of like friends now. You're acquaintances at least. You find some commonality. All right. Now it's a matter of trying to prove to them that you are a credible source, that the things that you are talking about, the solution that you are pitching, the thoughts, your dreams, your ideas, we want to make sure that they sit there and they go, there's some credibility here, that they're true. There's something I should listen to. All right. So obviously we want to provide some type of proof. We want to become the expert And we don't want to be sell. We don't want to be doing that, because then their idea is, oh, you're just trying to get something out of me, as opposed to give me your dream, your idea, your thought. What we want to do is we just want to share our solution with them. And sometimes, in order to create ourselves as the expert, they're going to look at me and go, well, how do I know you're an expert? So what I do is I bring what I call the giant in the room. Someone that we both respect, someone who's truly an expert in that field, and I can bring in a testimonial from that person. I can bring in a quote from that person. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's an organization, but I bring in something else that I know that they already believe in, and I use them to support my argument. All right. So it's got to be relevant. They have to understand and trust that other person, that other entity that you're bringing in the room. They have to know them. It's got to be relevant. Okay. And then suddenly they realize that you start becoming the expert. I start becoming the expert here because I link them to all these other great sources. So it's very important to do that. And that's just one way to do this. The others are to demonstrate. In other words, showing that proof. You demonstrate that I actually know how to do this. All right. And so you want to continue to move forward, but it's very important to show credibility. After credibility is, of course, confidence. And I loosely say it's after credibility. Confidence is something you've got to go through the entire presentation. All right. And confidence is just showing the person that the message you are expressing, the idea that you are sharing, okay, the thoughts that you are just joyfully explaining, all of that you are doing from the deepest parts of your heart. You truly, truly believe in what you have to say. All right. And you have to do that because when they see that you are so happy and you are so excited about this and you are showing so much energy about the simplest thing, people want to join in on that. All right. If I told you, I got a great idea that's going to help your business, and you'll make a lot of money, and you just have to follow with what I'm saying, and it's a really good idea. All right, you're going to sit there going, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't even believe in what he's talking about. Why should I listen to him? But instead, if I go, I have got one great idea for you. I promise you, let's talk, okay? And I will give you one idea for free, something that I know deep in my heart will work to make your business explode. All right, immediately you're like, wow, I'm interested because this guy is really excited. Now, don't get so selly. Don't become like, you got to call right now. And if you don't call right now, time is running out, 50% off right now. You don't want to get into that, okay? Because we tend to shy away from that. We go, oh my God, this guy's already got his hand in my pocket. All right. What you want to do is you want to show, I've got so much confidence. This thing that I want to talk about has changed my life. I think that it's going to change your life. It is different than anything you have ever seen before. And I am so excited that I cannot keep it inside. It's bubbling out of me. I need to share it with you. All right. So some of the ways you show that confidence is I'm going to stand up straighter. Okay. If I'm pitching you like this and going, so you're really going to like this, or I'm going to go, you are going to love this. Okay, that posture, showing them how excited you are. In other words, I'm opening myself up. I am not afraid to talk about it. I want to talk about it. That's what I mean by posture. Eye contact. Okay, how many times have we talked to people and they're talking to us and they're looking over here, they're looking down here, they're looking all over the place. All right, and we're wondering, are they even connecting with me anymore? Or how many people are looking right at you and saying, listen to me, this is a great idea. You are going to love this. All right. Eye contact makes the person you're talking to feel special. All right. And that's what we really want. We want that person to feel special. We want them to feel like every conversation is a one-on-one. All right. After eye contact is silence. Now, silence is a tough one. Man, it's one of the toughest ones for me too, because I love to talk. I get so excited about it. But every once in a while, if you are really confident in what you are trying to say, if my idea, again, my idea, my dream, my thought, my product or my service, if it's something I know I can offer you, and I've given you all the reasons, and I've listened to your objections, and I've gone through all of this, at a certain point in time, I've got to go, what do you think? And I have got to sit there with almost an uncomfortable silence. Let that person jump in. I am not in charge of filling all those empty spaces. All right. So I give them the idea going, so you do have this problem, right? And feel that silence, feel the power in that silence. And I want you to command that, because if you've got that silence, if you show that you are confident in the middle of a conversation, just to halt talking, just to look at the person and say, this is what I was thinking, and I think that this could help you. What are your thoughts? That person suddenly feels like, wow, he's interested in what I have to say. It goes back to the communication part. All right. So it's beautiful. I want you to really get into this. I want you to master silence. There is nothing that I found that's stronger in the middle of a very exciting presentation where you're building up the tension, building and building and building, and then just suddenly stop. And then bring it back. All right. There is nothing that's stronger, nothing that screams that excitement, nothing that is louder than complete silence. Okay. So we've gone through that. And the last one, of course, is the close. All right. Again, I have seen so many salespeople. They go through there. They're really good at pulling out the objections, understanding that what the person is against or what their preconceived notions are. They know that the person has a need. They have created the desire. They know they have the perfect solution. They go through this. They build a connection. They speak with confidence. But when it comes to the very end, where you sit there and you're going to go, here, sign the paper, they back off because they're afraid. They're afraid of rejection. And there is nothing worse than a salesperson who's afraid of rejection. Okay, because she's going to fail at it all the time. If you don't close correctly, all that confidence that you showed, you just threw out the window. You just got rid of the whole thing. All right. You have to be confident through the entire process, up to and through the end. You have to be able to recap and say, so this is the stuff we talked about. These were some of your concerns, and this is how we solved those concerns. So those concerns are kind of taken care of. All right. You attack them with logic. In other words, you said this, and you said that if we could do this, you'd be interested in this. Dear, you said that you wanted something built in the backyard, some piece of shade. Well, I thought about this. So does that answer your question? Okay, you tell the kids, you said that you were interested in dessert tonight, but I said that you could have dessert as long as you finished your entire meal. All right, you haven't finished your meal yet. So what we're doing is we're talking with logic here. All right, and we've recapped everything. And then lastly, to show that real confidence, what we want to do is we want to assume that the sale is closed. We want to assume that the person is in agreement with us, or at least is leaning in agreement with us. All right, remember, you can't change everybody's mind. That's not what this is about. What you need to do is we need to look at this and say, yes, we're at the right track. If you cannot assume that the sale is closed, the idea is transferred, that they like your idea, then you haven't done enough leading up to this. You are not ready to close this sale. You are not ready to close your argument. Okay. So, but if you've done everything right and you've heard their objections, you've let them take the floor and talk to you about it, and you've answered things, and there's a logic to your response, then just assume it's done and speak as if we're in the future. And this is already done. Now let's talk about what your life will be like after you bought my product, you bought my service, you jumped into my dream or my thought or my idea. Yeah, now we talk about the future. So we assume the sale is closed and we move on. All right. So this has been a bunch of information, right? And I want you to remember, go C%. In other words, 100%. I want you to communicate at 100%, that big letter C. So I want you to remember all 5 of these C's. And you're going to go, okay, Marty, you were going kind of fast. You moved kind of quickly. How do I do this? So I'm going to give you this sheet here, and it's a pretty cool sheet. You can download, and this sheet does the same thing. It covers clarity, connection, credibility, confidence, and close. And it gives us the sections here. And this is kind of a brainstorming sheet. The next time you want to pitch a product or a promotion, or you want to enter into a debate, you need to give a speech, a presentation somewhere, you need to convince your kids to go to bed early, whatever it is, this is a great brainstorming sheet that you can cover all those aspects. Okay. And you go, wow, Marty, this is cool. I want this. It's very easy to get. And that is, go to masterhappiness.com, The Secret. So masterhappiness.com/The Secret, all one word. You're going to see this pop up on your phone or on your computer. There's a picture of the Barbara Beckley show. And down here is this diamond. And the diamond, like I tell you every week, is the secret between you and I. Okay. It's the only place you're going to get the form. You're going to click on it. The form is up for 1 week only. Next week, it changes to something else. You click on that form, you'll get it, download it, and start using it. And I would love for you to give me some feedback. Contact me, okay, and say, hey, Marty, I love the form, or hey, Marty, I was a little confused. Could you explain this, and this on that? I'd love to talk to you more about it because I want to know how you're using it and how it's helping you succeed. Okay, with that, I'm going to wrap up our show today and just remind everyone here, whether you are selling a product or a service, whether you are pitching an idea to a kid, pitching your dream to your spouse, or just creating a new idea, we are always selling. We're selling other people or we're selling ourselves. We're always selling, okay? And if you are not having fun, you are selling too hard. Thank you so much.
He does it every Monday. He does it every Monday. You are selling too hard. You know, every time I hear Marty when he says that, I think about those car salesmen. To me, they just, they make sales. You just want to just say, you know what? Just send me a website. Let me look at some cars and I'll buy it online, which today they do that now. But I just can't. I mean, I walk into the dealership and already, whoosh. Sorry, dealership people. But yeah, I mean, most of the salespeople, they just like, ugh. So thank you, Marty, for always giving us those tips for Monday and just getting us ready, prepared to really get into, your opening, your closing is so important. So with that, we're going to go transition right into meeting this queen. OMG. When I first got contacted, well, let me restart. When I received her information, I was like, I have a celebrity coming on the show. And I was like, okay, Barbara, you need to get yourself together now. This woman, she came to me. I read her bio. I love when you meet somebody and we haven't really talked, but we talked through emails and then, through her sending her information and then, back and forth a little bit. And I just feel like I know her already. And then I was looking at her podcast and I mean, this woman, she's on the top 100 coach list in the world. Okay. We're not talking about in California or Illinois or St. Louis. We're talking about the world. Okay. And when I was looking, I said, this is awesome. I mean, all that, wonderful speaker. She's a coach. And I love how she says, where it says, she works on being the boss of our own brain. Oh, I can't wait to ask her about that. I was like, ooh, I like that. So, I always got to bring on the queens the right way. I just can't just say, here you go, here's Allyson Roberts. No, I have to do it the right way because she is royalty. So here we go. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, lady. I'm going to have to just. This is like when royalty comes, you be like, okay, there she goes.
You are way too kind. You are way too kind.
I always say, Allyson, especially as women, and I know I love the men, but you're gonna have to put to the side for a minute. I'm just letting them know right now that us as women, we always need to lift each other up.
Man, do we ever?
We really do.
And yes.
So if you're queen and you have a crown, you just don't see it. It's right there though. It's right on top of your head.
Listen, I always use my lotion can.
Oh, I love it.
I tell women all the time, adjust your crown. Adjust it.
Yeah.
Remember who you are.
Remember who you are. And then, like I said, in those dark days, because we all have them, you still have to remind yourself of that. And that's why I said, if I can't say it enough to ladies, I just keep pumping, because I know we go through those, especially, us trying to, just conquer the world and build our empire at the same time and love our family at the same time, and just, and it goes on and on and on. So I'm just, first of all, before we even take, like they say, the deep dive, I just want to thank you for coming on Diamond Factor Experience Show with me. I always say that's a gift to me. I get selfish right now because I tell people, I said, okay, you're going to love this person, but I just appreciate them coming on my show. So
thank you for having me. Seriously. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's just get into it now. I didn't want to say, because one thing I don't like to do, I like to have my guests tell the story, because I know it took a lot before you got to this powerful coach and transformation and dealing with all that. Because I know, hey, we all went through those stories, and I like to know those stories because that builds a relationship with people. So can you tell us just a little bit about, how you just became this powerful coach?
Well, I really fully stepped into my coaching power 5 years ago. I mean, I've been in the field for 27 years. But 5 years ago is when, I don't know, something inside of me just clicked. And I just said, I'm playing really small. I'm playing really, really small. And I think that part of it too was, I love science, but I'm also very spiritual. And I was listening to you, obviously, when you were talking about your friend waking up in the morning and feeling blah. And all I could think was, man, I remember those days. I used to wake up in the morning and the very first word out of my mouth was a cuss word.
Wow.
And even though I was pouring myself out to all these people and changing lives, and, they were all seeing these amazing, wonderful results, I felt so empty inside and so unfulfilled. And I remember I got on my knees. I just did this full surrender. And I was just like, God, there was a time when I lived in my car. I'm a cancer survivor. I've gone through this massive things with my biological family. And, I was like, what is it? I don't understand why I am so unfulfilled. And I just heard really, really clear, you're playing so small. You're playing so small, Allyson. And I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, what does that mean?
It's like, you're telling me, but what is it? Give me more detail.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, And so I wrote a check to a coach that I felt very inspired to work with. It was more money than I've spent ever on a person in my entire life,
You took that jump.
Yeah. And I just said, I feel like I'm playing small. And she was like, well, you are playing small. She's like, no one knows your story, Allyson. She's like, no one knows who you are. You know who everybody else is, but no one knows who you are. And that is what playing small is. Playing small is when we're not vulnerable enough to say, I'm helping you in this big way, but did you happen to know that when I was 19, I lived in my Volkswagen Beetle for 3 weeks? Did you happen to know that I placed a son for adoption? Did you happen to know that, we faxed our paperwork in at the exact same time to find one another, and it was in those moments when I started sharing who Allyson Roberts is and what I've lived through and what I've gone through, that really big doors in the universe just started opening for me, and I just started walking through them. So the power is not outside of us. It's inside of us.
So true. Ooh. I have to take pauses when I hear these wonderful stories from the queens, because, just to go back a little bit, what you were saying about, first of all, I'm your sister because I am cancer, but it's been 8 years for me now that I've been in remission. So we're cancer conquerors. We're cancer conquerors. Yeah, I know they say cancer survivors, but I don't, for some reason, Allyson, I just couldn't get the survivor part. I'm like,
I don't like it.
Well, I don't like it. He good. I'm glad. I'm finding other ladies like me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put something else in this bin. So I said conqueror, and I feel good, and feel more, energetic about that and confident. So first of all, thank you for being vulnerable right now, like you said, and stating what you went through. And see, like I tell people, your stories, and we all understand this now, that it's a connection. It helps connect to others, so they don't have to feel alone. There's so many people. Just like right now, you just told about the kid. We didn't know that from each other, and just you opening up to say that. Now you have another sister that went through, this. Not something different. But cancer, but it's the same thing. We both had it, and you never know that when you don't, like you said, be more vulnerable, open up, say your story. Don't and feel confident and feel proud, say, because I always tell people, I know I went through I was bullied. There's a whole, people know my story, not about me right now, but I'm just saying there's a lot of things that got us to here, and it was lessons learned, it was understanding who you really are, understand that you have so much courage that you didn't even realize. Just like when you said you heard that voice saying you're playing, small. Now, if you wasn't really hearing that inner voice or getting down to pray, you might have missed that, and it would have been maybe a whole different turn for you. Yeah,
I think so. I teach becoming, the boss of our brain. It's the science of our brain is phenomenal. We our lower brain, our reptilian brain, it holds all of our memories, everything. From the time that we had cognition, which is before we're born, when we have cognition before we're born. So, that reptilian brain remembers everything. And so, like your friend that's waking up, and she's just like, I'm bleh. Yeah. Well, she's not being the boss of her brain.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. You're going to have me saying that now a lot.
Yeah. Her reptilian brain is like, it's morning. Here we go again. And she's like, you're so right. And so many people live that way.
Yeah.
So many people. There's a small, the people who are in my coaching programs, I praise them every time we're together, because I'm like, listen, you're 90% there because you're here and you're becoming the boss of your brain. Do you know how many people don't become the boss of their brain? They read the news and they're like, everyone is right. And it's just like, no, turn it all off. Who are you? What do you want?
Yes.
It drives me crazy. I'm so passionate about it. But it drives me crazy.
Now you feel me from this morning when I was saying that.
And I was like, I got to get my hands on your friend.
And she would love you. Yeah, I can see you're a wonderful coach because you would help her out. It's just, and you just be like, ooh, when you hear that, like you see, because we're already, we know it's like, no, don't, no, you want to help them and, be like, don't think like that. But I want to go just a little bit, Allyson, go into a little bit more into what you do. I mean, like you said, you started off with, I love the boss of your brain. So can you give us just a little bit information about, how your coaching goes?
Yeah. So, in cognitive behavior, it's a thought model, really. And the thought model is that a circumstance happens, and as soon as anything happens outside of us, be it rain or a bomb dropping, it doesn't matter. We have thoughts about that thing. Mm-hmm. And then we have a feeling that's attached to the thought. And then we act based on our feeling and our thought, and then we get a result. So, yeah. So most people believe that we have a feeling first and a thought second. And that's not true. We have thoughts first. A feeling can't happen until we have a thought about it. But 97% of our thoughts are subconscious. And so when I'm talking to people about their subconscious brain, they're like, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's subconscious. And I'm like, yeah, but because you're acting a certain way. And so what's in your subconscious mind based on how you're acting. So if someone wants to quit smoking, and they're like, they wear a patch and they're chewing the gum and they're doing this, and I'm like, that's not going to work. Because you're throwing action out, you're throwing all this action at it, but you don't know how you really think and how you really feel about this cigarette. So I can get you to not smoke, but we got to figure out what you're thinking and how you're feeling about it first. If you think that smoking is cool, I don't care how many patches you can put 197 patches on.
I'm sorry.
You can cover your whole body up in patches. But if your reptilian brain is like, smoking is cool, yeah, it's going to win. It's going to win every single time, And so when I'm working with people, and it doesn't like weight, smoking, that's not my expertise, but I'm just using those as examples. My thing is really like in the more insidious things. Like if you can't get past making $50,000 a year, it's not about the money. It's about your self-worth. So we dig in there. You got to dig in.
I like that. Yeah.
I
love that. And I love that you said, Allyson, about, your worth and your value. And I think a lot of us, even myself, and sometimes I still struggle a little bit with, saying, okay, I'm valuable enough that if I put a price tag on what I do, as far as coaching or counseling or whatever, that is worth that. And if somebody says no to it, don't take it because I used to take when people say no, I'm like, oh no, I got a discount. Oh no, I got to go down on the price. Oh no, you don't think I'm worthy? All that started coming out. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. I had to catch myself and talk it out, because it was really something there. And then I found out, like you said, Allyson, it was something that was my past was coming back in my head. And that was those, like I told you a little earlier, the bullying. You're not going to be about nothing. You're ugly. You're fat. You're not smart. I mean, that started popping in my head when they told me no. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that my mother used on me was that the only thing that I was good for was sex.
Oh my God. Ooh. I know that would become go.
Yeah. So when I first, even when I was, in the early days of my career, we just give it away. I just gave all of my services away. Just like either they were almost free or free.
Or free. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, I got into therapy when I, starting in my 20s, but we never talked about the money piece of it because women don't talk about money.
That's another thing that I've been noticing a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That we have a problem. I don't know what it is that we don't like talking about money as women.
Well, it's our worth. I mean, do you know Lisa Nichols?
Oh, yes.
Well, she was one of my very first coaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was a group coaching program, but she was one of my very first coaches. And she was the first woman who, I felt like she had punched me in the face personally when she was talking about money, not in a bad way, but just in a wake up kind of way.
Yeah.
And she's like, we've got to start having a money conversation. I'm like,
That's what we do. It's like, anything else except that.
Yeah. And so, and even now, I'm just now starting to be like, I'm one of the top 100 coaches in the world.
Yes.
And that comes from people's results that they get with me. I'm like, I need to be, I need to charge. I need to raise my rates a little bit.
When I seen that in Forbes and what was it, Free Spot? I hope I'm saying it right. And I was like, that's why I said celebrity, yes, bing, bing, bing. Awesome coach, bing, bing, bing. Those results, bing, bing, bing. Yeah. But sometimes, like you said, Allyson, if you're still dealing with some things, and if it's not here, then like you said, you're gonna have that little push and pull with the price of what you try to do with your business. And unfortunately, yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that people who are not educated and don't really know, personal science,
mm-hmm.
they've hurt our industry.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding that, it takes a lot now to gain the trust. Because I don't promise fast results, because you get results pretty immediately with some things when you do cognitive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But some things, you've got to unpack your story first.
Yeah, and be true.
And that takes time.
Yeah, it does.
That's not an overnight thing,
Yeah, I was just going to say real quickly that people be looking for microwave results, and
we want instant gratification, man.
Yeah, it's like if I can't get it, Barbara, they tell me, okay, you told me 2 things, I'm not getting, okay, it's not working, boom. And I'm like, what's not? You've been doing this stuff for years. You want me to do a 2-minute fix?
Right.
It don't work that way.
It doesn't. I'm like, I tell people, this is not McDonald's.
I love it. Or Burger King, or Wendy's, or Popeyes.
Not the drive-through window express lane. This is
not it. You just don't drive up and then you're done. And it's like, yay, no.
I'll have the number 7 self-esteem with a super size of some wealth, please.
And it mixed a little bit of mindset in there to make sure it's always positive. Oh, I'm loving this. Well, lady, can you because see this time I need to start doing hours with queens. This 20, 30 minutes is not working for me. I'm just being honest, because I love talking and getting information and people getting to know you more. But I had to bring you. First of all, can I bring you back on?
Yeah, I would love to come back on with you. Absolutely.
Yes, this is just wonderful. Now, before we close, I just want you to kind of anything else that you want to leave for today, since I know you're going to be coming. We're going to talk about coming back on for anybody, and then please let them know how they can contact you.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to leave with everybody is, and don't roll your eyes. You are powerful. You are so amazingly powerful. And unfortunately, other people probably have misused their power and convinced you that you're not, but it's not true. So my job, my purpose, my passion is to help you find your power again, to remember who you are. So if you are interested at all in doing that, you can find me at AllysonRoberts.com, ALLYSON Roberts.com. Come on my website and just play around. Play around. That's what I tell people. Just read and play around.
Yes.
Yeah. Just play.
Just play.
I mean, you're going to scroll Facebook anyway. You might as well come to a website that's got some useful information for you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because you are so right. We could play on other stuff that doesn't make any kind of sense and not doing anything good. But then you come on Allyson Roberts' website and you'll get full in for good information to help you move forward.
Yes.
Yes.
You will.
Yeah. Don't waste the time. I mean,
no, don't waste your time on Facebook.
Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. So
it is.
But, oh my God. So yes, Allyson, thank you, lady, for so much. And I know we had to change dates. And thank you for having this opening today.
I'm so sorry about Friday.
Oh no, things happen. I was just glad that you were able to come. When I got your assistant's email, I said, "Can she come Monday?" I was like, "No, I want to hold on to this so I can see if I can get her on." But yeah, so now that I consider us as buddies now, that you can come back to the show and talk a little bit more about what you do, the business, coaching. You even bring on a guest if you want to, and we can have some conversation. Yeah, I love it. I'm already thinking in my head some things that we can collaborate with. See, I'm already.
Yeah, you can bring on your friend. I can coach her.
Oh, that might be a #1 show. Yeah, because she'll be like, "Why you got me counseling?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on the show," and then sneak you in there and said, "Oh, here you go."
Right.
But yeah. She. I mean, I got her okay for a while, but I know she still needs some help. But yeah. So thank you so much, lady. And like I said, we'll talk and just enjoy the rest of the wonderful Monday, as I was saying earlier.
You too.
And we will definitely get back together so people could just see you shine even more on the Diamond Factor Experience show. Appreciate you so much.
I'm hanging on your every word, the love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound, 'cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
OMG. Oh, you know what? I just have to right now, everybody has different beliefs, but I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And I believe that they send me gifts in the world, in the universe. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing on Allyson Roberts. She is just unbelievable. I just love her vibe. I love what she does, what she thinks, how she's helping, her vulnerability so she can connect with, the whole, yes. And I did, you heard me ask her to come back. So I threw it out there because I really want to come back and be on the show. And, we do some things because you know what? The world needs Allysons. Okay. We need each other to really understand this. We really do. And this, I'm always talking about, everybody talking about, you got to have a mindset. You have to have a positive mindset. But then where's the heart? See, I always say you should have a mindset and a heart set, and it should come together. And then it's powerful because you're not just only thinking of what somebody said, but then you got your heart into it too. And that creates that connection. And then you can just be anything. You just like boosh, explode at everything that you're doing because now you got both connected. Because when somebody starts to tell you, well, you can't do it, you know, I don't know why you think you can. You don't have the education or whatever. You know, those people, those little gremlins. And sometimes it's just you instead of other people. But then your heart is saying, no, I can do it. I have the confidence. If I don't know, I'm going to find out. If I need to study, I'm going to study it. If I need to pay for somebody to help me with this, I'm going to pay that person. See, that's where the heart comes in it. And that mindset clicks in and you're like, I'm ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. So I want to leave you for Monday, leave you another positive message from this wonderful, another queen. I always put her book up because I want you to buy it. She has so much good. Mary Ellen, Taking Responsibilities, Unleashing True Healing. This book is awesome. This is what I read from. This is what I get this doesn't come out in the air and just popped in my head and I just say it. No, this is from another queen that wrote a book. And, you know, I looked at this and I was like, wow, this stuff is really good. So pure love is genuine and does not contain if or but. It simply is love. Okay? Pure love requires nothing in return. True love is felt needing to receive nothing and wanting nothing from another. Pure love is when you simply love with no motives, no judgments, no assumptions of what will be. Okay? I love you because you can do this. I love you because I need you to do that. No, 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 no. I love you because you are you. People who require another to do certain things, say certain things, and become a certain type of persons are called what? What are they called? What they call? Called manipulators. Hey, we're going to throw it right there. We're not going to hide. We're not going to sugarcoat this. They are manipulators. That is not love. It's not love. It is called controlling. Okay. See, this could be a whole show right here just talking about this. True love is unconditional. Let's just say that. Say it one more time. Unconditional. One more time. True love is unconditional. Requiring no ifs, no buts, no maybes. No, I think I love you today and not tomorrow. No, it's just unconditional. That's why it takes a while. It takes time to say, I love a person. I'm in love with you. I love that person, or I love myself. Because you got to get rid of all that other stuff that don't supposed to be there. That don't mean love. Today, become loving, requiring nothing. I mean, nothing in return. I always tell myself, and I'm going to end it here because I know I went a little bit over today, but that's okay because it's my show. I like saying that sometimes. I don't say that a lot, but it's nice to say it sometimes. It's my show. So what I want to say is love yourself first. It is not selfish at all. I had to learn that because I've been through most of my life, all my life. I've been trying to love, trying to do, trying to prove everything to everybody else. I'm in my 50s now, and I've been doing this for a long time. And one day I just had to stand up, especially when I started the Diamond Factor LLC, and went back to my childhood and went back to when my father passed or what he used to tell me. I had to go back. I had to go back and find out, why can't I love me? Why do I feel like I have to give the good? Everybody else is first, and I'm like last. And I'm not even gonna say last. I'm like last. Like you don't even see me last. That's how it was. Why was I doing that to myself? And why was it taking so long for me to understand that? And I had to find out, I said, what's the problem? I just asked myself, I looked in the mirror one day, I said, Barbara, what is your problem? What is going on with you? Why do you feel like you have to give so much of yourself that you lack in what you're doing? Everything comes second, third, and fourth when it comes to you, but it always comes first with everybody else. And I found out, and this is how I'm going with this. I feel like somebody needs this. And I found out that I didn't love me. I didn't love the way I was feeling by myself. I didn't love the way I was looking. I didn't love the way my brain was reacting or saying or didn't know or whatever. I mean, I just didn't love me. I just did. None, all that was gone. It was just, I was here. It seemed like my purpose at that time was, my purpose is to help everybody else get to what they need to do and forget Barbara, because Barbara's not important. And that's what happened. And that's where it comes in, where I'm always talking about the PPD, your purpose, your passion, and your drive. I had to find out what my purpose was for here. I had to deal with emotional things that happened to me when I was younger. I had to get the passion of saying to myself, I gotta love me. And then the drive of it was always relating back to what I dealt with, to say, no, I'm not going there anymore. See, the drive is a reminder to tell you not to go where you need to go. You went there, you learned the lesson, you moved forward, you got encouraged, whatever happened within that time when you went through your valleys, and then you get out the valley. You don't stay there in the valley, okay? There's no staying there. No, you don't stay there. You got to get up and out and fly. And that's what I had to learn. I had to keep doing this. I had to keep doing this. I had to keep doing this, because I kept going down in the valley and staying there for a while. And I was supposed to stay there. See, that's what the problem was. I was down in the valley. You learn what you need to learn. It's like they say, the dip, if you want to call that. I know Lisa Nichols says this all the time. If you listen to Lisa Nichols, she's telling me you got that dip. You don't stay there. You got to move it out. You got to move out and move onward. And see, I was stuck in a lot of different places because I didn't understand to love myself first. Then that's how I found my purpose. That's when I found out what I need to be doing. That's when I found that I love speaking. That's when I found that I love talking to women, helping them understand that they need visibility so people know who they are and what they do and how important it was. That's when I understood that, you know what, with this social media and all this kind of stuff that's going on, I need to master that so I can help these women that I keep talking about, that they're diamonds and they're queens and all that. You know, you can say that till the cows come home. But if you're not implementing that and you're not taking action in it, then it don't matter what you're doing at that time, because people don't know who you are. So I had to master that, all that. But I had to master myself first. I had to love me first. Me first. So that's why I always tell people now, no, you are not selfish for saying that I have to love me. It's all about me. Now, if you okay, I'm going to put a little disclaimer, just a little disclaimer. Once you learn yourself, you love yourself, you like yourself, and all that good stuff, you could just be like, oh, I can hug myself all day. Then you need to take to the next level. And now that you got yourself together, now you're supposed to help others. That's where the hand comes out. You start helping. Okay? Because you don't want to get into yourself so much that now you become another side of you, which is, oh, I'm this. No one can tell me nothing. I can't be teachable. Nobody can't coach me because I'm the coach. I'm the trainer. I'm the speaker. No. You have to make sure that now that you got all those tools in you, now you can use those tools to help others so they can understand what their purpose is, so they can understand what passion they have in their life, so they can understand what drive and what those stories that they have in their lives as a reminder for them to keep pushing, to keep going, to keep going. So now I'm the cheerleader. I'm like, Hey, I'm cheering for you. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're awesome. You're tremendous. And I can say that because, see, I had to get in myself and love me. So now that I love me, I can love you. And then when we love each other, then we can move forward and we can push and we can move and we can just charge and we can use that PPD, as I call it, as your foundation in life. That's the brick. That's the foundation. The foundation is strong. So when anybody comes to you and say, you don't look right, you're ugly, you're not marketable, your brand stinks, I don't like your logo, who are you? Who you think you are? You want to be somebody? You can stand there and say, I am somebody and I love me, and you have the problem, not me. And you move forward. Okay, I got on my soapbox. I know I'm longer than I'm really longer than I'm supposed to be, but I feel like that was for somebody, and hopefully that helped. Anybody that's listening to the replay or listening right now live. But I just want to thank again. I want to thank Marty, Master of Happiness, and I want to thank Allyson Roberts. And like I said, I am going to get with her, and I wanted to come back on because I just feel she just has that something. You know how when somebody just has something, you'd be like, "Oh, that needs to come back. We need to hear her again." I do want to announce on another note, kind of on a it's a good and bad note. Let's just say this. Mr. Marty, Master of Happiness, after next Monday, it will be his last show under the Diamond Factor Experience, because he is soaring so much with the Eagles. He has his own show, he has his own company, he has his own empire. And he was so nice and gracious to come on under the Diamond Factor to do his shows on Monday. But then, I always tell people, I say, I don't care what you do, you collaborate, whatever. Sometimes you have to soar. You have to keep soaring in your lane and what you're doing. And he's just, he's an eagle. So he's still soaring. And sometimes you have to make changes and make priorities and change some things up for you to do what you need to do for your purpose, passion, and drive. So I just want to say, I'm going to say more next week, but I just wanted to be, just to put it out there, because after next week in August, you're going to be seeing, and I'm going to bring in somebody else, but I just really want to stress again of reaching out to Marty. He is just amazing at sales and marketing and everything else. And he's just a cool guy. So I just want you to know, Marty, that I truly, truly appreciate you so much. You're always just so enlightening on Monday mornings, and you always give me kudos. I was thinking about this morning. I was like, wow, Marty, I said, you didn't have to do all that. But, that's what I'm talking about. That's when you're with the right people and they got your back. And, you need people like that in your life. So thank you, Marty. We'll see him next Monday, though. I don't want nobody saying, well, where is he at? No, he's coming next Monday. We got him for one more Monday. But I just want to let people know, if you want to be a guest on this show, if you want to be a sponsor, have your product or your service commercial, because you see I show commercials through the whole thing. Those are our sponsors. Please contact me through through Diamond Factor Experience at gmail.com. Diamond Factor Experience all together at gmail.com. And we can have a talk, and let's get you out there, as I always say, shining like a diamond with your products and services and then what you do, so people get to know who you are and understand the relationship. With that, gotta go. I know I went a little longer, but that's okay. I just wanted to say that I appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow with the Time to Shine Happiness Show with the BBs, and we will be on tomorrow morning. I'll say, you have a nice Monday, and remember, you have a diamond factor in you. Bye.